Thank you, Gina, for sitting down with me.
Thank you for the invitation.
Could you share your professional journey with us and how you became involved at the Brewing and Malt Barley Research Institute?
Yeah, definitely. I've actually been involved in crop research for my entire career, starting at the lab bench, and not to date myself, but it's been a while, where we were doing a lot of the early transformation on flax and canola. After that, I moved into more of the business development side, commercialization, intellectual property management, and really enjoyed that. Just seeing the diverse technology coming through and having, I guess, a role in getting that in the hands of the users. After that, I moved on to Western Grains Research Foundation, which was a really great opportunity. I managed their wheat and barley variety development investments, and that's really led into BMBRI.
What motivated you to work in the field of barley? What made you want to get into this in the first place?
Yeah. Well, most people here would say that they love beer or something along those lines. It's a little more than that. Having worked at Western Grains, I really enjoyed the researchers. I enjoyed the smaller community, the collaboration, and just the opportunity to learn an industry. What makes it tick, what's in behind it. And I really didn't have a background in malting and brewing, and so that's been the process over the last 5 or 6 years.
And so you're being executive director for BMBRI. What are your responsibilities? Like, what does a typical day look like for you?
Well, a typical day, I guess, at a high level, my responsibility is to carry out the mandate of the organization. And BMBRI, I'm not sure if you know, is over 75 years old. So it has an incredibly long history with a mandate that hasn't changed significantly. And that's really around maintaining a sufficient quantity of high quality malting barley for the industry. And we work in the pre-competitive space with our members. We're solely funded by members. And the way we do that is really around research investments. And then we have a very active role in these meetings coming up this week with the PERC Hob. BMBRI facilitates some of the variety trials called the collaborative trials. And that's where the end users, the maltsters and brewers, actually have hands-on analysis of these candidate lines and contribute to the recommendations on whether or not we should support or not support lines. And then finally, there's a communication aspect. So that's, in a nutshell, what we do.
Yeah, there's a lot going on this week. We've got the Canadian Barley Symposium here in Saskatoon. Like you mentioned earlier, there's the Prairie Grain Development Committee meetings, which you're also a part of. A lot of meetings, a lot of people. And then a special announcement today, though, Grow Barley. This is, from what I understand, the first dedicated agronomy program for barley, possibly in all of Canada. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, we're all very excited about this. In research funding, a couple of things. As you said, a 7-year program, $1.5 million committed by the Western Canadian Barley Commissions as well as BMBRI. So that's a lot of money with an expected matching contribution. We just do not have in our industry 7-year commitments very often. And so that kind of stability and long-term support, it just is really great for that program. And the other unique thing is the fact that Dr. Kubota, who is the successful candidate, he's going to be working closely with the steering committee, which is producers and end users, to be sure that all of his research is really applicable, and taken up quickly. So I think it's a really great and unique opportunity that we really don't see very often anymore.
No, exactly. And for you, being involved with PGDC as well, you mentioned you're on the Prairie Recommending Committee for Oats and Barley. And what are some of the big challenges that barley as a crop is going through right now?
Yeah, well, I guess I touched on it in our mandate, and it's really, and it was addressed this morning again, is really maintaining barley as a profitable and diverse cropping option. And that's something, fewer acres than wheat and canola, fewer dollars for research investment is continuing to see those gains within the crop and competing against wheat and canola, really. to remain in the acres. And I guess for the malting industry, we really do need to see kind of maintenance of those acres so we have the quality we're looking for. And the second, I guess, issue that we continually face is really around the challenges around any extreme weather, whether it's the drought we've been seeing, rain in the fall, heat, and continuing to get the quality levels that we want to see out of barley. So that's where the research piece comes into.
In terms of opportunities, growth for barley, that's a big topic. We talk about at PGDC and even at the symposium this week, the future of this crop, where it can go. I know there was a great talk given by Stuart Smythe about the need for innovation, et cetera, et cetera. And for you, what does the future hold for this crop? What are some exciting opportunities maybe you could speculate on, like say in 10, 20 years, boy, if we could take barley to these heights? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do. And, probably a scientist would do a better job of this, but what I've seen over, my career is the genomics and the phenotyping and the collection of a lot of data and a lot of big data. So, looking towards the future, potentially artificial intelligence, where we'll have better prediction tools that can lend to accelerating the gains in germplasm. That's just one piece of it that's coming on. Things like, and this is fairly upstream, but understanding a bit of the microbiome. And we are just very tip of the iceberg there in understanding beneficial bacteria and fungal interactions with plants. And then more on the agronomy side, some of the precision ag potentially. I know that's already in place, but growth of that and, to kind of support efficient input use, but also sustainability long-term. So that's just a few, and I'm sure there's many more.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of talk about microbiome at the symposium, a lot of research being done. And before I let you go, what for you is the highlight of the symposium this year?
Well, that's really tough because there was a lot of good presentations and a lot of diversity. So I'd say that all of the learnings were great. Also, these are always great opportunities for networking, to see our colleagues from across the whole value chain, share a beer. And so the combination of those two is really why we all come here every year and have a great time.
Yeah, no, it's a great event.
Yeah.
And thank you for sitting down with me, and then look forward to Grow Barley and the other initiatives that you're taking part in.
Yeah, thank you.